In early 2021, someone claimed that Sigma guys were the rarest of men and made up just 0.1% of the population. So today, I wanted to talk about the growth of the Sigma male and what I think to be the latest component of the manosphere. And this attracted a lot of interest. What the hell is a Sigma male? And why does everyone care all of a sudden that they are men who are creative and introverted? If you look at this Google Trends illustration, you'll see the red line, which is searches for MGTOW and Google peaking out in late 2018 with the demonetization of all MGTOW channels. Since a Sigma is somewhat high on trade openness, which means they tend to be creative and prolific workers, as well as introversion, which means they're creative loners who march to the beat of their own drum, so an eccentric entrepreneur who works for themselves. I honestly wouldn't think it had been discovered until recently, unless I had actually heard Jordan Peterson discuss it 2 or 3 months ago in a different form. I thought Jordan Peterson was a Sigma, but he cries on camera and gets emotional, and Sigmas generally don't do that. Talking about this topic is rather exciting. It's like the early days of MGTOW back. Elon Musk would be more of an alpha male posing as a Sigma, because he's clearly mentioned before that he needs people in his life to be happy. A Sigma is the complete opposite. He needs to rid his life of many. I believe the thinking ape has moved away from MGTOW and toward the black-pilled insulin man in community. I believe that encouraging Sigma guys to maintain their status as single men and pursue what is known as the grind set is the best course of action. I'm a Sigma according to the definition, and going my own way has allowed me to be creative, which has been the finest thing that has ever happened to me. Freeing the creative, independent thinkers in our society from their desire for cooch would promote innovation and advance civilization. Every man believes that he is one of the 0.1% of Sigma men, the rarest men in the world. According to the Clown World show, being a Sigma man has its drawbacks. Because you have to be extremely creative, you must constantly work on your grind sets. Everywhere I look, I see videos claiming that women find Sigma meals irresistible. Of course, women do. They observe the passion and attention they devote to their work and wonder aloud to themselves. How can no one see that Sigma males are just creative introverts is beyond me. If I get acquainted with him, he'll invest all his time and care into me. Sigmas are also utterly emotionless, which seems appealing to women who desire a powerful man who won't display frailty and vulnerability. However, real Sigmas exhibit more facial expressions like to those of Mark Zuckerberg. Women desire a powerful, silent man who is not a stone statue because the reason I think Sigmas are supposedly so rare is because no one pays attention to the failed Sigma meals and calls the losers. So if you're creative and introverted and you suck at what you're doing, you're a loser, but if you success, all of a sudden you're a Sigma. Under one Sigma video, I found one guy posting this. The quotes every loser guy watching this thinks, quote, "I'm totally special. I'm a Sigma for sure." They identify with being creative and outside the social hierarchy, not necessarily because it's a trait of their personality, but rather because they're socially awkward, can't fit in, and won't put forth the effort, or they think they're creative, which most people actually do. But creativity is a curse where you can't stop creating, or you shrivel up and die. So, Sigma channels are entirely logical. That's what you see in the so-called Sigma community. A true Sigma is a genetic loner by nature. It's like when I stated back in the day that it's better for people to watch MGTOW channels and tell themselves that they're going their own path because it would minimize their violent tendencies. But a poser Sigma has been expelled from a group of friends. He didn't leave voluntarily, but through cognitive dissonance, he convinces himself that he has. Does this mean I'll be creating only Sigma content and giving up on MGTOW? Yes and no. I think the synergy between men and the Sigma is strong. There are men that stand out from the crowd, such as Nikola Tesla and the Wright brothers, who lived an introverted, creative, and successful life without wives. However, if you look at that Sigma chart again, it appears that Sigma maxed out 6 to 10 months ago, and is currently beginning to fall. We probably bring up the wave that is now cresting, and I can bring up the negatives of being a Sigma instead of just puffing up all the positives. For example, if you're a woman and you see a loner Sigma man on the surface, you could think they're easier to manipulate in some ways than the alphas. The typical Sigma is a loner, which means that a woman doesn't have to exert much effort to keep him away from his friends or worry about fitting into his social circle. This saves a woman a lot of time because he might only have a few friends, and she also believes that he will be dependent on her social circle. However, you don't see that they're harder to control than others. In contrast to alpha males who prefer to play the field, Sigmas will also be much more likely to settle down and provide commitment to women. I'd have topics like why women can't control a Sigma male because he's like a cat that can't be heard. However, you can't leverage social validation on a natural-born loner. Most women don't understand this. Herb can't exactly pretend to be intelligent while simultaneously being a Sigma. Therefore, her sexual strength is useless in comparison to a woman with intellectual power.